Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Okay, today we are continuing the December Reset Collection, which, as a reminder, is a special series designed to help you ground, refocus, and feel more like you as we close out this year. Because listen, we know December can come with a lot. There are extra activities, there are extra planning sessions, right? So much going on. And what I want to do is bring you some of the most loved episodes from the past year. These are just conversations and tools that truly help you reset your energy, reclaim your time, and rise into the version of yourself you are becoming. And what better time than to do it now? We are not waiting until January. So consider this just a simple personal pause, just a moment to breathe and to reflect and receive exactly what you need. Now, this week, we are talking about resilient mindset and protecting your energy for sustained success. We are in it for the long run. This episode is meant to help you remember that. So I'll ask one favor, as I have been over the past couple of weeks. If today's episode lands for you, it would mean so much if you could just share it with a friend, or if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This really does help other high-achieving women discover the tools, and honestly, it is one of the easiest ways to pay the goodness forward. And we are continuing with the December fun. I am still doing a fun little giveaway. If you do leave a review and screenshot it and send it to me on Instagram at Michelle Burke Coaching, I'm still choosing a few listeners to receive the Abundant Ever After book by Kathy Heller. I'm sending out another one today. It is a great book and I highly recommend it no matter what. But I just wanted to give you a little gift for taking the time to give the review. So thank you again for being here. Thank you for listening. And of course, future self is also thanking you for doing this work. So without further ado, please take a listen. You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing how to build a resilient mindset and protect your energy without burning out. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, in today's episode, we are diving deep into two powerful pillars of the Empowered Rhythm Method, which is going to be building a resilient mindset and protecting your inner energy. Now, if you have ever felt like you are working harder than ever, yet somehow still feeling more depleted than ever, right? This conversation is for you because we are going to explore why overwork and burnout are so common for high achievers, how your nervous system and brain chemistry play into it, and I'm going to share some practical steps, of course, so that you can start taking today to create sustainable success. Now, let's start with something that many of us know all too well, the pattern of overwork. Overworking is not just putting in long hours on a tough project. There are days that we need that, right? Overworking is when you consistently push past your body's natural signals. So maybe you're feeling fatigue, tension, restlessness in order to, quote unquote, keep going. And high achievers are especially vulnerable because achievement has become our default setting. So here's a little neuroscience behind it for you. When you ignore your body's cues, you flood your system with cortisol and adrenaline. These stress hormones wire you for survival, not creativity. Survival, not creativity, okay? And over time, you lose access to the prefrontal cortex, that part of your brain that supports problem solving, strategy, and long-term vision. That's what we want, folks, right? We do not want to be losing access to that. Instead, when this happens, you end up stuck in the limbic system, reacting, hustling, surviving, but not thriving. And that's why burnout doesn't always look like failure. In fact, for many high-performing women, burnout hides behind achievement. You're hitting your numbers, you're finishing your projects, you're taking on more, but inside, you are exhausted, you are anxious, maybe, dare I say, even resentful, perhaps I have felt one or two of those feelings through the years, right? I get it. I always say I am right here with you. One of the most important mindset shifts is learning to trust what your body is telling you. And for so many of us, I think this is hard because we don't even take the time to pay attention to what that means. Your nervous system does give you clues. It's the buzz of anxiety that never fully goes away. It's the rumination or the overthinking when you finally sit still. Maybe it's not wanting to sit still because you have to sit with that rumination, right? Feeling restless, even when you're at places like a beach or dinner with loved ones. These are not signs of weakness. They're signals that your body is overactivated. And when you keep overriding them, you eventually will reach the point of burnout. Now, a resilient mindset doesn't mean powering through. It means honoring those cues and creating safety for your nervous system. And sometimes that's as simple as putting your hand on your heart, taking 3 deep breaths, and just reminding yourself, I am safe in this moment. I am telling you, that has made such a difference. At first, I thought, what is this person talking about when they tell me to put my hand on my heart and tell myself that I'm safe? But I'm telling you, if you try it and continue to do that, it just helps to settle you. And it matters because when your nervous system feels safe, your brain literally shifts in chemistry, reducing cortisol, boosting serotonin and dopamine, and you regain that access to the clarity, to the creativity. And that's where the magic is. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about the burnout cycle and the beliefs that actually fuel it. From a cognitive behavioral perspective, burnout often starts with unchallenged beliefs. Oh my gosh, so many of us have unchallenged beliefs. In fact, we like to fight for our limiting beliefs. That's why coaching is so important. Things like, I have to be everything for everyone. Are you nodding your head? Do you think it? I've thought it. Sometimes I still think it. You do not have to be everything to everyone. Or if I slow down, I'll fall behind. Or my worth is tied to how much I achieve, especially I think for us salespeople, right? Just think about some of the language that we use quarter to quarter, hero to zero. What have you done for me lately? So that thought that goes unchallenged, that my worth is tied to how much I achieve, look at it, question it. These thoughts create stress and pressure, which drive behaviors like saying yes too much, overcommitting, and ignoring your own needs. And those behaviors reinforce the belief, and around you go in the burnout cycle. And the breakthrough comes when you step back and ask, is this thought useful? A resilient mindset isn't about positive thinking. You know, I always talk about that. We are not about toxic positivity here. It's about intentionally choosing beliefs. That's where you have the power. Intentionally choosing beliefs that support your well-being and your success. Here's where energy work comes in. Boundaries. Boundaries are not selfish. They are essential for protecting your inner energy and being your most successful self. And when you live without boundaries, your energy leaks into everyone else's priorities. You become reactive instead of proactive, and you probably feel scattered and depleted. But when you set boundaries, you create capacity, not conflict. Listen to me when I say that. When you set boundaries, you create capacity, not conflict. That is another thought that we can look at. I think a lot of times when we think we're setting boundaries, it's as if it's a negative thing. It is not. Boundaries can tell your nervous system also that you are safe. They give you clarity to focus on your highest value actions, the ones that actually drive the results. And remember, you do not get paid to be busy. I know a lot of us, especially in this industry, especially in sales, think the busy badge of honor is so important. You don't get paid to be busy. You get paid to deliver value. And value requires clarity, presence, and energy. And in order to have clarity, presence, and energy, you sometimes have to say no. And I would like to also offer, you can say no without feeling guilty. Your no can be kind and clear. But why is it so hard, right? Why is it so hard to say no without feeling guilty? Often it comes down to, like I said, either feeling guilty, fear, out of habit, right? These are the things that make it so hard to say no sometimes. Like if we look at guilt, I don't want to let other people down, might be the thought driving that, right? If it's fear, maybe it's what if they think I'm difficult or replaceable? If it's a habit, which probably for a lot of us, it could also be that, right? Decades of being rewarded for being the quote unquote good girl who says yes. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve your goals, you're saying no to something that does. Now, here's a reframe for you. Saying no is not rejection. It's redirection. It's protecting your peace, your time, and your energy. And you can say it with kindness. I mentioned that earlier, right? I'd love to, but I need to focus on XYZ right now. Could be an option for you to say. Or maybe, this sounds great, but I don't have the bandwidth to give it my best. Two options for you. It is not selfish. It is called leadership. Self-leadership, that is where the gold is. Now, let's ground all of this with a few simple science-backed practices that you can start today. You know I love to give you some simple practices along the way. So, number one, we've talked about this in the past on other podcasts, the dumb list. And I think this is so important to rewire your brain to show yourself the things that you actually have done. So at the end of the day, write down everything that you have accomplished. Your brain is wired to focus on what's missing. A done list retrains your neural pathways to see evidence of your enoughness. Number two, minimum baseline habits. I love this. Decide the smallest action that you can take even on your hardest day. So 10 minutes of movement could be one journal entry, 2 pages in your book, a 5-minute walk. Consistency builds identity, and your brain loves identity reinforcement. And if your brain is telling you right now, as I say this, 10 minutes is not going to be enough, challenge it. It's better than zero. A lot of times, the perfectionistic thinking tells us it has to be all or nothing. It doesn't. It's consistency that is the key to making lasting changes. Now, number three, visualization. Studies show that imagining an activity lights up the same neural pathways as doing it. And athletes are always doing this, right? Visualize yourself showing up calm, confident, and clear. Your brain begins wiring that as your new normal. I have been practicing something my coach has passed along. So for 100 seconds, you have this, right? Close your eyes, take a moment, take a breath, and in your mind's eye, just replay 100 different points of your life. In fact, you could even visualize future of things that you are grateful for. I have found a song, I'll have to post it, I can't recall it right offhand, that I will listen to. It's like 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And I just sit and I visualize all of the things that I'm grateful for. I am telling you, when you look for energy shifts, this is the stuff that does it. You will feel so good after you complete that. I'll stick the song in the notes. And of course, if you just shoot me a DM, I can always get it there for you. Now, number 4, energy filters. Weekly ask yourself, what drains me? What fuels me? And I want you to make one small shift to protect your energy. Now, number 5, the 5th little practice that you can choose from here. Again, you never have to take all of them. I want you to take what works for you and leave what doesn't. Permission to pause. Take 60 seconds between calls or cases or meetings to breathe deeply. It signals to your body that you are safe and resets your nervous system. And when I say breathe deeply, I want you to pay attention. A lot of times when we're not being intentional, we're breathing into like our chest. I want you to breathe all the way down into your belly. And I want you to think about like the breath going from side to side, into your back, like all around, and really activate your chakras. So take a deep breath and signal to yourself that you are safe. And when you give yourself permission to pause, you also allow your brain the time to move from probability to possibility. This is one more resilient mindset shift that you can make in your evolution, and it's so much fun. Moving from probability to possibility. Now, probability says, do what's safe, proven, and likely. Possibility says, create what hasn't happened yet. And you need to take the time to think about what that would be. Like, what is your passion? What lights you up? What is actually possible? Your brain naturally wants evidence from the past to believe in the future. But nothing that we create in the future is going to come from something that's already been done, right? Like, if it's not been done in the past, it's still possibility for you to create it. And When we keep in the mindset that we need to think from the past, it just recreates the same results. So to expand, you have to believe first and then create the proof. And remember, everything we want is because of how we think it will make us feel. But those feelings like confidence, peace, joy, they are not results. They're choices available right now. You can decide how you want to feel and feel that right now. And when you learn to generate the feelings first, you collapse the time between desire and outcome, and you step into that possibility. Now, before we leave, I want to talk about something that is very important. I mean, it's all important, right? Reclaiming presence. One of the biggest energy leaks is worry. Worry feels super useful, right? But it's a false task. It's your brain trying to feel in control. Instead of asking, what could go wrong? Ask, what if this works? What if I'm more ready than I think? What if everything I want is closer than I realize? I love that question. What if everything I want is closer than I realize? What if it is actually all here right now and I just need to actually see the evidence? Presence is where your power is. This moment is where your decision lives. And what you do now shapes what comes next. So make your decisions and be sure that you like your reasons why. Okay, let's bring it all together. Building a resilient mindset, protecting your inner energy is not about doing more. It's about choosing differently. Again, when you stand in your choice, when you stand in your knowing that it's a choice, you are way more empowered. So recognize the patterns of overwork and the beliefs that fuel them. Honor your body's signals and create safety in your nervous system. Protect your energy with boundaries, saying no when needed, and simple daily practices. Pick any of the 5 that I shared with you today, any combination, or just one of them, whatever works. Rewire your brain with the done list, with the minimum baselines and the visualization. Live in possibility, not just probability. Possibility is where you're able to ascend into the spirals of growth, to move from the awareness into the integration and into the expansion. Anchor yourself in presence because this moment is where your power lives. And when you do this work, you don't just avoid burnout, you create a new rhythm, one that allows you to thrive in your career, your relationships, and your life. And if you want to take this all to the next level, head to michelleburkecoaching.com/reset. I have a brand new program that I am offering. It's all online, so you take it as it fits best for you. You have access to all of the modules. You do not have to have it out in a drip format, which has been the way I've done it in the past. And I think, you know what? You signed up, you just get it all, and you do it the way it works best for you. And it's personalized. So there are prompts in there. There are educational models. And then you get to do the work that's specific to you. And another great bonus is it's only $47 and you get lifetime access. So michelleburkecoaching.com/reset. And of course, be sure to share this with any of your friends that you think could benefit as well. Okay, friends, just a reminder, you are not behind. You are doing enough. You are not stuck. You are one decision away from momentum, one step away from clarity, one habit away from becoming the version of you who leads with both strength and calm. This is your time. Let's go create it. Okay, that's what I have for you this week. Let's meet back next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.